All right, good morning. It's we're going to be starting just sitting here. And we'll do just some preparatory movements, some cat and cow, just with our neck, our head, our chin falling to our chest. And you might want to sit on something to raise your behind and afford your hips a little bit of an angle. And we're just going to raise our head up now and look at the tip of our nose. And now we're going to drop our head down and look at the third eye, that point between our eyebrows. And we're going to lift our head up and look at our nose. And drop our head down and look between our eyes. And up. And look at our nose. And then the point between our eyes. Good. And now we're going to have our head in neutral position. And we're just going to move our head and look over our left shoulder. And we can move our eyes towards the back of the room over our left shoulder, as though we can kind of see behind us. And now we're going to move the other way and look over our right shoulder, looking into the corner, into the back of the room. And then the other way, and then back again. It's back and forth, just gently. And now we're going to tip our ear to our left ear to our left shoulder, and we're going to look up at the corner towards the upper right corner of the ceiling up there. Or I'm looking at the arm of my eyeglasses here. And then we're going to drop our neck to the other side and look up in the other direction. And then back again, looking up. And then one more time, the other way. Good. Now we're going to just do a very slow round movement. So we're dropping our chin to our chest. We can look up at our third eye. And then we can roll towards the right and look over the shoulder. And then we can look up and look at our nose. And then look over our left shoulder and drop your head down and look at your third eye. So we're going to come back up again, looking over the left shoulder to the nose, and then over the right shoulder and down, look up to the third eye. And then back again, over to the right shoulder, up, look at the nose, the other side, and then drop your chin down to the bottom. Good. All right. And now we'll just sit for a moment and feel the lightness in the upper half of your body and the heaviness in the lower half of your body. So you can imagine that you can just do some circular movements with your ribs here. You can put your hands on your ribs and circle your spine around a little bit. Now, if you have problems with your spine, you might not want to do this, but spinal mobility is an excellent indicator of your age, sometimes better than chronological age, according to the Swamis. And good. Now we'll just circle our shoulders around a bit. If your legs are getting tired, you can just stretch them out in front of you and shake them. And we'll do some shoulder movements here. We'll have a little bit of a body shake at the very beginning just to awaken ourselves. And we can move our shoulders in the other direction. Good. Very good. Now, I'm going to go down on the floor here. And I should have said to get a belt and some blocks. But if you wouldn't mind getting a belt and some blocks, that would be great. I have too many belts here, as it turns out, and not enough blocks. Here we go. All right. You can sit on a block doing these postures, or on a blanket. And all that does is tip your spine a little bit forward, gives your hips a little bit of a raise. Good. So we're going to just sit here and do some movements with our legs. Just stretching our feet out. And we're stretching right through we're imagining that we're in Tadasana, that is mountain pose, standing on our feet. So we're imagining that the heels and the toe mounds are on the same plane. We can draw our toes back here and really press into the heels. Now that livens up the entire leg. And you can just put your hands beside you here. If you want to, you can put a strap around your feet and hold on to the strap, or you can just sit with your hands by your side. And we're just trying to get a neutral spine. So I tend to extend my ribs out quite a bit and my chin out. It's as though I haven't quite, I'm always wanting to arrive somewhere before I've arrived. So you want to draw your ribs in and your chin in just a little bit, if that's what you tend to do. So you can sit like this. And now we're going to move forward a little bit, and we're just going to go forward with a straight spine. Now you may not be able to go too far, that's all right, it's not a competition. And you can just move forward with a straight spine and gently ease yourself into moving forward. This is early in the morning here and I haven't moved much, so I'm really taking my time. If you have problems with osteoporosis and that sort of thing, you'll want to just use your straight spine movement. I'm going to invite us to arch forward over our legs with a rounded spine, and you will give yourself the best advice about what to do with your spine. So I'm just going forward with a straight spine as far as I can, and you can reach out and hold your toes if you like, or you could put your hands on your shins, or you could hold on to your strap, whatever feels good for you. And at a certain point, when you feel you've gone as far as you can with your straight spine, you can in fact round over your legs. And I'm going to hold on to the tops of my feet. You can hold on to whatever, it's all hands on deck, and wherever you can manage to hold on. The point is not to really strain here. We're going to hold this for a moment or two. And the delightful thing about the body is that it sinks into the moment. And I'm really interested in how yoga practice, especially these slower moving yin practices, allow us to connect with the parasympathetic body that is beyond the flight and fight sympathetic body. But that happens when we really release and let go. And linking into this parasympathetic body and working with the vagus nerve, which runs through the entire system, helps us in many ways. There are some postures that can help with anxiety by centering you, by giving you a sense of a kind of interior peace. This one, where we're folding over ourselves, can in fact feel like a container for us, a kind of nourishing, comforting container. So if we're going to set an intention today, you'll have one in mind. My intention today is to still my monkey mind and to just let go of whatever it is that is holding me back. That's my intention. It's a bit complicated. I'm finding that the more turmoil there is in the world, the harder it is for me to maintain my focus. With every inhalation, you may feel yourself coming up a little bit, and with every exhalation, you might find yourself sinking more deeply into the pose. If you find this unbearable, of course, do come up, and you can go back into it, or you can just rest. Good. Now we can just come up. We can straighten our back up and come up with a straight back. And now let's just take our arms and stretch them out behind us, and our palms, our fingers will be facing the back wall, and we can just open our chest up. And if we like, we can put weight on our back hands, and we can lift up our body into a reverse plank. If that's too much, just press your hands into the ground and lift your chest up. This is a reverse plank, and we're not going to hold it for 3 minutes, I can tell you that. But it's a lovely posture, and you can really feel your chest opening here, and you can inhale and then exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, and then we can come down. Good. And up. And we'll just fold them over our body and give ourselves a beautiful embrace. It's lovely to be with you here today. And we're going to open our arms out again with the other arm over top and give ourselves another embrace. Good. Then we're going to take now you can relax your legs here. We'll go back into, you can either be in butterfly, which is your feet together, or you can be in an easy pose, which is just cross legs here, whichever one you like. And we're just going to do some stretching with our arms. Our fingers are interlaced. We're lifting our shoulders straight up around our ears, and then we're dropping them down. And we're lifting them up and dropping them down. Lifting them up and dropping them down. Good. And now we're going to stretch our wrists out. This is good for our wrists, and stretching the bottom of the heel of our hand out as much as we can. And now we're going to drop our fingers down with straight arms and stretch the upper wrist out. And we're going to do the same thing we're going to reverse that, fingers up, and then fingers out. Fingers up and fingers out. Fingers up and fingers out. Good. And now let's just shake our hands, our shoulders, and we'll do some finger exercises because it helps me a lot. So we'll just do the spider climbing up the wall and the spider climbing down the wall. Spider climbing up the wall, down the wall, up the wall, down the wall. Good. And we're going to now make a fist with your hand, with your thumb crossed over your palm, and really push hard with your fist. Just clench your fingers as tight as you possibly can. And when you let go with a lot of energy and straight fingers. So we're going to go flick off all your troubles. So flick it off. Flick it off. Good. Flick it off. Flick it off. Flick it off. Really stretch those fingers out. Really stretch them out. Ugh. Good, good, good. And one more time. Fists. Flick it off and stretch those fingers out. Now stretch them out and make them go all the way down to the ground and stretch them out all the way to the ceiling and all the way down to the ground. To the ceiling and all the way down to the ground. Good. And then shake your fingers out. Very good. All right, we're going to do some toe movements here. This is rather uncomfortable, but if you can't do this, you can just go in and out of it. I've just got my toes underneath me, and I'm sitting on my heels, and I'm going to spread my toes out so that they have a little bit of space between them as I'm sitting on them. And you'll know when it's too much. I think it's difficult to break your toes this way, but if you have bone issues, I suppose you have to be careful of this. But if it's too much, you can just come out of it and then go back into it. And if it's too much on your knees, just put something underneath your knees to give it a little bit of support here. And we're just sitting here as though there's no tomorrow. And you can feel yourself relaxing your upper body. While we're in this position, we can, of course, continue our breathing and inhale and exhale. Let's inhale all the way down to our toes. And then exhale all the strain. Inhale lightness, carefreeness, love into our feet. And exhale irritation, pain, fatigue. Inhale and exhale. All right, now let's lean forward. Bring our toes back into the world. And then let's sit back on our feet with our toes, with our feet flat on the ground. Good. So we're just feeling our toes let go. Good. And we'll come up again from our knees, and we'll go back and sit, and we'll do a few more sitting postures here. Now I'm going to hold on to my big toes, so you need a good stretch here, and I'm going to stretch my other toes towards me as well, just stretching them out. Good. Now let's just stretch our left leg straight out, and our right leg can come in to the side. If you find it difficult to have your leg unsupported, you can put blocks underneath your leg, whatever level feels comfortable. And once again, we're going to make a slight twist to one side and just stretch out. And I'm going to hold on to the outer edge of my foot, but I'm going to come back and forth a few times. I'm just going to use this movement of running my hand along my leg towards my foot as a way to acclimatize my body to this forward movement. Now, you can, of course, put a strap around your foot and just hold on there and come down as much as you can. Now, I have a bad knee here, so I'm going to put something between, when this folded knee, I'm putting something behind the knee just to give it a little bit of space there. And now I'm going to go down towards my foot. I'm holding on to the strap with my, so I've got my left leg extended, and I'm pulling really slightly with that to move myself forward. So the movement here is forward and not just down. We're actually moving our straight spine forward, and we're feeling as though our collarbone could touch our toes. We're feeling that sense that we're moving out, and we should have a relaxed neck here. We shouldn't keep any stress in our neck. And we're just going to move forward. And if you can, just hold on to that strap, or you can hold on to the outer edge of your extended foot, or the inner edge, or your toe, or the top of your foot, whatever feels good. If you hold on to the outer edge, you get a little bit more of a twist here, because there is a slight twist in this movement. And we're just going to stay here for a moment or two. And I'm dropping my head now. Now, if your neck is sore, you can put a block or a blanket on your leg and build it up, or you could get a bolster so that your head is supported and you're not just dropping it down. So it depends if you get neck pain or not. You can always support your body parts in order to make the postures, not just, we're not looking for the perfect posture, but we're looking for a posture that enables us to feel we can stay in it long enough without irritating various muscles. Like, we don't want to overstrain our neck, for instance. And once again, we're inhaling and we're exhaling. And in this position, we can feel the inhalation opening up the vertebrae and the ribs in our back. It's as though we have magical powers to just inhale and open up all of those back ribs so that our breath, our lung is expanding. We're breathing deeply into our back body. And then we're exhaling from the bottom up. And then we're inhaling and then exhaling. Inhaling and then we're exhaling. And once again, we can feel as we inhale, we can imagine that we're kind of lifting up slightly because we're inflating like a bit of a balloon. And then as we exhale, we can feel our body easing into the posture and lowering down. Okay, and now you can come up. And we'll just extend that knee out, and we will just shake our legs a little bit on the floor and give us a little a little bit of a rest. All right, we'll try the other leg. And I'm using a strap on the instep. And once again, I'm going to just draw the left leg up and into tree pose. And I'm going to once again sort of turn it slightly to the other side, and so that my belly button is kind of over top of my thigh. So it's a modest twist here. And I'm going to move down again with a straight back. Now you may find there's a difference in your abilities on each side, and you don't want to feel any pain at the very tip top of your hip where your tendons attach to your bone. You want to feel your hamstring stretching, not your tendons up there. So we're once again moving forward with our collarbone. And all the time we're inhaling and exhaling and feeling a sense of release as we move down. And you can, of course, you can hold on to the outer edge of your foot or the top of your foot with the opposite hand, and or you can continue holding onto the strap. And you can just, we've had a fairly straight back to now, but you can just fold it over here. You could drop your head, you could put it on a block or on a blanket, just to give it some support if you feel you are lacking, if you feel any strain in your neck. And once again, we're breathing into our back body. And we'll just walk our hands up now and extend that leg out, and we can shake it out a little bit. Now we're going to do a little bit of a wide-legged forward bend, and you decide how wide your leg should go. You'll want to feel comfortable enough that you can move forward slightly. Now the movements don't have to be very exaggerated at all for there to be some benefit. We're just going to stretch our legs out here. Now, if this is too much, you can go onto your back and do a kind of wide-legged, if it's too much like that, you can go onto your back here and just stretch your legs out like this and open them out. And that's fine too, as long as you're pushing through your heels. But I'm going to be sitting up here. But you decide what you want to do. And we're going to just sit up here, feel ourselves sitting into our sit bones, and feel our neutral spine. Once again, we We can go tilt our pelvis back and forth and find a space that feels like we're kind of in balance, in equilibrium. We can feel axial elongation from the top of our spine to our sit bones. And we're just going to breathe here for a moment, sitting in this position. We can press out through our feet, and that active movement is useful just in generating some energy. Now we're just going to walk our hands forward slightly with a straight back. Now we won't necessarily go too far forward. So we're just going to, you can walk your hands forward with as straight a back as you can, and then stay here for a moment, a couple of breaths. And then we're going to walk our hands over towards the right and hold on to our shins or our foot, and just have a couple of breaths here. Then we're going to walk our hands forward again and just once again breathe in the middle. You can drop your head if it's aching at all. And we're just inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to walk over to our right, hold on to our toes or our shins, the outer edge of our foot, whatever it is that feels possible. And we should feel both of our sit bones on the ground. So we're not lifting our left hip up. We're actually trying to maintain that stability of the spine and the sit bones. Of course, there's more weight on the right hip at this point, but we still maintain contact with the left. All right, and back again. And now we're going to just lift up. Good. All right, enough of that. We can roll our shoulders out again. We can drop our head back and forth just to make sure it's still on our body. Still working. We can move it back and forth and around. I find that my neck is really an important part of my body to move when I'm beginning my day. All right. So we're going to you can lift your legs up and bring them in if they're stiff. And we can just do butterfly for a moment. And once again, you can build it up if you like. We're just going to hold on to our toes, and we're going to move with straight back forward. So these are a lot of forward movements. We're going to do some back bends in a moment. But all right. You can use your elbows to move your knees down if you like. Or you can, if that's too much, don't worry about it. You can open your toes at the feet up if you feel like it, if you can. So you're looking at the soles of your feet. And now you can come up. Good. All right. Let's stretch our legs out. All right. I'm going to just do a little bit of a back bend here. And I'm just stretching. I'm still on my sitting with my legs extended. And I'm going to drop down with my arms, elbows underneath my shoulders. And I'm just going to let my chest move up. So it's just a back. I'm just really feeling an open chest, and I'm feeling my shoulders open as well. And I'm breathing into my chest. I can extend my heels out or my toes. And now I'm going to roll up and just go forward and touch my toes as a counter movement, and then come back. Good. Now we're going to move into a few other movements. This one is a kind of low lunge, so we're just going to move our legs around to the side and go onto our hands and knees. We're going to do a few cat and cow here, just to kind of develop a little bit of a transition. We're going to sink our chest down and our belly button down to the floor, and we're going to then lift our spine up and round it. We're going to imagine that our spine is like a cord, and we can move every part of our spine. And then we're going to, once again, move it down. And the breathing that is involved here is we're inhaling when we're in this cow, and we're exhaling when we are arching our back up in cat. And we're inhaling, and then we're exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Now we're going to hold this cow for a short moment. Just inhaling and exhaling here. There shouldn't be any pain anywhere. And you should be pressing into you can press into your feet, into your shins, and into the palms of your hand. And really feel your chest opening as we're breathing here. And now we're going to exhale as we come up into cat, into that hollowing cat. And we're going to just inhale and exhale here, maintaining this pose, really feeling our back arching, every bit of it that we can. Once again, there shouldn't be any pain here. There might be discomfort, but not pain. And then we're going to come down. Now we're just going to take our left foot forward, and and then extend our back leg back so that we're in a low lunge here. The front of our back foot is on the ground, and we're just going to feel the opening in the front of our right leg here. Our hip flexors are opening here, and that is a good thing. It's an awkward thing, but it's a good thing. Once again, you can in fact come back and move into it if you find it too much. There's nothing wrong with that. But traditional Yin Yoga is about finding stillness. I find with my achy old body, I really do some movement in some of the posers quite in order to maintain them. So I'm not convinced about the absolute stillness for my body. All right. Now I'm going to invite you to put your both hands on the ground on the inside of that front foot. And I'm going to also invite you to move down, if you can, to your elbows. Now, if that's too much, you could use a block and, put your elbows on a block if that's helpful. And you can allow the front knee to splay out a bit. So this is called dragon. I'm pretty sure. The yin names escape me sometimes, but I think this is called dragon. And it's a very good movement for your hip flexors. And you'll find as you stay in it, your body can move a little more. And we're just inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And you may find with time, I'm going to remove the block and see if I can move a little bit further down here. I can. I just have my palms together. You can keep them on the floor if you like. And I'm just settling in here, feeling this opening in my legs. And now I'm going to put my hands on the ground and push myself back and come up. And now I'm just going to lift my front heel up and stretch my spine out, my torso out over that front leg if I can, and just rest here. Good, and now I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to just take that front foot, well, here, while I'm here, I'm going to just bend that leg, that front knee, and I'm going to move forward into what is called pigeon or swan in yin. And you can, if you have you can have your front foot at 90 degrees, in which case you can point your toe. If you have it on an angle, which I have, I always extend my my heel out, flex my foot, in order to help with my knee. So here we are doing swan, and you can use your hands, and it's a back bend here at this point. And you don't want to have too much pressure in your lower back. You should feel the curve of your spine along the spine. So you shouldn't feel any pain anywhere in the lower back at this point. Just going to rest here. And now I'm going to come down into sleeping swine or swan. And I can use a blanket here. I can use blocks under my elbows. I can put my head on a block, or you can cross your hands over and rest here with your head on your hands, whatever feels comfortable for you. And comfort, the thing about Yin Yoga is comfort is really not necessarily part of the process. In fact, discomfort, but not pain, is where it's at. So if we feel discomfort, one of the things we're learning in Yin Yoga is resilience. And I would say stamina, because if you're staying for a moment or two, or 3 or 4 or 5, you're going to feel some discomfort. And this, of course, is opening your glutes in your right leg, in the bent leg. And it also opens your hip flexor as well. All right, I'm going to walk up again. Oh, and I'm just going to walk up enough here that I can reach around, and with my opposite, now I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I'm going to demonstrate it anyway. I'm going to bend that back knee, and I'm going to reach around with the opposite hand and hold on to the foot. Now, This is really uncomfortable, but it's a very good opening for your front, for the back leg to open up the front of the upper leg. And if this is very hard, you could use a belt. The first time I did it the other day, I used a belt to get to my foot, but I've already stretched this out a little bit, so my leg is working quite well here. And I'm just going to hold this for a moment. Not too long, because it's very uncomfortable. All right, and now I'm going to let it down and roll. I'm just going to roll back onto my hip, and I'm going to draw that foot around and into a twist here. So we're now sitting. You can keep this leg long if you like, or you can keep it here, and we're going to work on a twist. So I'm going to just lift my hand up and move it so that I can twist slightly here. You get a lot of benefit out of these postures without straining your body. And I have this book on written by a doctor who's done a lot of work on osteoporosis, and he's very he says the reason people injure themselves in yoga is because of egotism, overzealousness, competitiveness, and bullheadedness, basically. So you want to actually make sure that you are demanding something of yourself in yoga, but you certainly don't want to injure yourself. So overzealousness is not the way to go. I have to confess, I have been overzealous and I have injured myself, and I speak from experience here. Very nice. Now we're going to move back, and we'll just put our hands on the ground here and just do a little bit of a counter twist here, just to make ourselves, just to give our body a little bit of a massage here. And once again, we're feeling our movement is up and not just around, in fact. And we're moving from the hara, which is the solar plexus, just below the spine, just below the navel. And it's considered to be, in Japanese terms, it is considered to be the power center. As it is in yoga, it's the solar plexus. And now we'll come back. And I'm just going to extend my legs out and shake them a little and move my shoulders around and see how I feel. I feel quite good, actually. Very good. Now, we're going to work on some of the postures we were doing the other way around. And I'm just going to, let's start on our hands and knees here again, and do a couple of cat-cows just in transition. So I do feel a difference in both sides of my body, actually. It's quite interesting. And we're just going to extend, this time we're going to extend our right leg forward, and we're going to slide our knee back in our back leg so that we're in this dragon pose. And we can put our hands on the inside of that leg, and we can draw ourselves down. Now, you want to feel comfortable doing this, and so you may want some supports. You could also use bolsters or whatever. I'm going to use a block at first and put my forearms on the block so that I have a little bit more support. And once again, no body is the same, and no one side of the body is the same as the other side of the body. So we have to be patient with ourselves and tender and caring. We also have to have stamina. We have to challenge ourselves a bit. but not to the point of injury. If you feel overzealous, draw back. Good, and we're just breathing here. And I'm going to now lower down. I can move from that block now onto my elbows on the floor. And I have my hands in prayer position because I'm praying that I don't split in half. I think it's unlikely. Now we can come up, press our hands into the ground, and we're going to move back and lift our foot up and straighten our front leg, and we can just extend our straight body over top of our leg. And I'm going to hold on to my toe with the opposite hand and just draw myself down a little bit. This is really a lovely extension in the hamstrings in the back of the extended leg. And now I am going to move into swan pose or pigeon by putting the front leg at 45 degrees. At 90 degrees here. And I'm not going to have it straight out at a right angle. I'm going to put my foot on the diagonal to save my knee, which gets anxious here. But I do have my foot flexed, my front foot flexed. And once again, I've got my toes extended. I am feeling that my pelvis and I've got a pelvic tilt here, and I feel this as a lovely back bend. Actually, you could do this against the wall and press into a wall as well if you wanted to. If you were doing this on your own, you could maneuver towards a wall and press into the wall and press yourself back. All right, now I'm going to walk myself forward, and I'm going to move into sleeping swan and settle into my elbows here. So yoga is yoga is quite like Buddhism in terms of recognizing that everything you have is already within you. And now I'm moving down onto my forearms. You can come up whenever you like and go back into it. You could go into child's pose if you like. And I'm just resting here. There's a teaching story that is a yoga teaching story, perhaps it's a Buddhist one. And it's, if anyone has been to India, you'll know when you go to places, they, in the south, there are very marvelous temples with lots of Hindu gods and goddesses. And at different moments in time, when there are invasions and they knew that these temples would be destroyed, they would bury them. And they buried them for a long time. So this mythical story goes that there was a particularly beautiful sculpture that they wanted to hide, and they buried it. And then when the invaders came, they took everyone as hostage. And many years later, a village was built on the same place, and a little girl was playing and saw a shaft of light coming from a mound of dirt with rocks and grass growing out of it. And they began to dig, and they found this beautiful sculpture. And so the yoga principle here is that that beautiful sculpture is within us. That we, in doing our yoga practice, are simply uncovering that beautiful stillness, beautiful balance, that sense of equilibrium, a sense of ease and stillness and wonder that's already within us. All right, now we can push ourselves back here, and I can do that nasty little movement where you lift up the back leg, bend the back leg, lift that foot up to get my knee on the right spot, lift that foot up, and then grasp it with the opposite hand if you can, and lift up and arch up here, opening that shoulder. It's a lovely back bend, and it's a really horrible feeling. But go ahead. All right, and then let go when you must. Okay, you have to make sure you've got a lot of padding for your knee, actually, or the back knee, which I didn't really have. Okay, now I'm going to just fall back onto that hip, and then magically rotate that leg around into a twist. All right. And here I have my right knee up. My left leg is by my, I've got my left, I'm trying to mirror you, so I've got my left knee up, and I'm going to raise my right arm overhead and twist here. So you can hold on to your leg, or you can twist. And once again, we're moving from the solar plexus, from that chakra that's just below the belly, from the hara, our power center, and we are feeling ourselves elevating while we are turning. And we should do this with some energy, but no zealotry. This is my new advice to myself. No zealotry. All right. And we're breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're coming around to the front, and just with our hands on the ground, we are twisting in the other direction and feeling a sense of opening in our body. Very good. And now we're going to come back, stretch our legs out. And of course, you can do this twist with one of your legs extended and the other one just bent over. So there are lots of alternatives for these twists. Okay, now let's see. I don't want to keep us too long. So I'm going to just invite us to do a very short bridge, and this is a supported bridge. I'm using a block underneath my sacrum, and I'm just going to move into a short shavasana because I don't want to keep you too long this morning. We started a bit late. So I'm going to put this block underneath my sacrum. And if that's not enough for you, you can put 2 blocks there. And I'm just going to lower down here over top of it very carefully. And you can lift up your hips and put that block where it feels most comfortable on your sacrum. And you can keep your knees bent if you like, or you can slide your feet out and extend your legs. So you can press your heels out, or you can point your toes. This is near the end of the class and I'm just relaxing, so I'm just going to really allow my body just to drape myself over top of this so that I'm in a lovely slight back bend. There should be no pressure in your lower back at all. If there is, then come down off the block or rearrange it so that you feel a sense of ease in your back. And this allows us to really feel the spaciousness of our breath. And our breath in yoga does connect up our mind and our body. It allows us to still our monkey mind, to exhale our worries, inhale health, well-being, exhale tension, stress. And whenever you like, you can bend your knees, lift your hips up, and then roll your body down onto the ground and just extend your legs out and feel a lovely rest here. And I'm doing a body scan. I'm imagining my fingers tickling and then relaxing, my wrists lifting off the ground a bit and then dropping down with my forearms, my elbows lifting up and dropping down, my shoulders lifting up and dropping down, my head moving from side to side, my chest lifting up, dropping down a bit, my waist lifting up and dropping down, my hips tensing, my buttocks tensing and releasing, my feet moving from side to side and resting. And now my legs moving and then resting. I feel the skin on top of my head and on my cheeks and on my jaw relaxing. I feel my mouth parting slightly, my tongue dropping to my lower jaw, and my breath coming easily. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And I'll just leave you for a moment while you rest. So I'll invite you now just to return to your full body awareness and move your limbs back and forth. You can windshield wiper your legs back and forth, your bent knees if you like. And you can feel how your body has been transformed just by your effort for a very short period of time and by your centeredness and your focus. And now you can roll to one side and push into the floor and sit up when you feel like it. If you want to just stay there for the day. All right. So I have two short things to say at the very end of the class. One is, according to the Path of the Yoga Sutras, a Lakota saying passed down from white buffalo calf woman. And this is, the power of the universe will come to your assistance if your heart and mind are in unity. The power of the universe will come to your assistance if your heart and mind are in unity. And here is another one. Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. And that's from Dr. Seuss. And with that, I will thank you both very much. And I will bow deeply towards you. The teacher in me honors the teacher in you, and the student in me honors the student in you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.